Hey guys, Rocket Sledge here. Ever since I started streaming last month, people have been asking if I'm ever going to make a video using Facecam. My answer? It has to make sense for the content. Well, brace yourself, because this is one of those times. Hope you enjoy. So today, we're going to take 4 of the biggest Rocket League content creators and go back and look at their first videos. Is it going to be cringy, or were they good right from the start? Let's find out. As a content creator myself, I'm going to be able to provide a little bit of context and some background information, as well as talk about the history and what was going on in Rocket League at the time of each video's release. To start off, we're going to go with the one, the only, Sunless. Now, Sunless had an unfair advantage because he was actually trained in film and editing, so right from the start you could see that he had some abilities. So his first big edited video here, If, it was like a montage with somebody reading a poem over it. But it wasn't him, so we're going to go to his first scripted content, which is 10 tips that will make you a grand champion. Let's take a look.
So here's 10 Rocket League tips that will make you grand champion. Communication is key. Make sure to use the take the shot quick chat quite a bit. So in the heat of the moment, your teammate should have plenty of time to read your instructions and follow up all your setup.
See, I kind of was hoping that he actually had the gall to give GC tips as a low-ranked player.
Number 9.
But this is obviously sarcastic.
If your teammate isn't as skilled as you, you should ride their ass so that you can get the ball right away when
It's funny, he has that same new YouTuber commentary voice. Like, I think it's because you get so focused on the words when you start out in your script, it doesn't really have much emotion. It could be part of the bit, I think, because he does get better in future videos. But you'll see this type of commentary in early YouTuber videos, especially mine.
Keep playing the same game mode until you turn things around by
Okay, so all the hate he's given it, Sunless is exposed. A Dominus main. He was a Dominus main. All those videos he made.
forcing Rocket League to match you up with better teammates. Remember, the only thing holding you back from Grand Champion is your teammate. On kickoff, try to do the zaniest flip possible. So think of it like an Olympics gymnastics run. And then
okay, so that, if I was watching this for the first time, that line will make you click subscribe. It's an Olympic gymnastics run.
And if you're not in a position to go for the ball, make sure to go as far away from the goal as possible, especially on 2v2. So that you can get...
Okay, so there was a lot of controversy about this back in the day, about whether you should be going for boost versus stay in net during the kickoff. And some of it was low ranked based, because how much can you trust the person doing the kickoff? I don't think that's as big a deal anymore. I think a lot of people go for boost on the kickoff, but that's the reference he's making here.
So if you have a choice between defending the goal and getting boost, think about the question like this. Which of those two things will make me freestyle through the air like a god? So that's a pretty obvious choice. If you're tempted to rotate position-wise, instead think of your positioning like an asshole. The tighter the better. If you want to win, you need to be firm and hard, and rotating will not make you firm or hard. During a game, if you get out...
Okay, so he says firm and hard twice and doesn't go for the obvious joke. Is it because it was obvious? Did he edit it out? I don't know. I feel let down.
Down 2-0 or even 1-0, if you've had a long day or you're frustrated, make sure to forfeit immediately.
See, so you used to be able to forfeit at any time during the game. Like now we have to wait until 3:30. You can forfeit the first second if you wanted back in the day.
Tell your teammate how poorly they're performing for you. This will make them play better and increase the odds of a victory for you. Even more effective is to tell your teammate mid-game to kill themselves. This will let them know how serious you are. And if you need time to do this, make sure to stop playing.
Sunless would get banned for 3 days.
Really articulate it.
Based on what
when you're
going
on
out lately.
defense, try to focus your attention solely on where the ball is. Taking time to think about the position of
so
your
he,
teammates or opponents,
right from the beginning, it feels like he captured the humor element. Like the other videos we're going to look at today, they didn't start out with humor. So he kind of already had an idea of where he wanted to go with this, and then that's evident as you go into the next videos, which was why you suck at Rocket League. That was the very next video.
Number 1, if you want to improve your game, watch YouTube videos from the pros and then immediately implement those tips in a competitive match.
Okay, so we got a Mertzy call out here. This is before they would even be friends. But I'm not sure what the reference is supposed to be. He's talking about watching pros, so is he maybe making fun of people that like watch freestyling videos to learn about freestyling? Because that's what Mertzy was doing. So I'm not really sure what.
Especially if it involves completely changing your controller layout settings. You can't learn unless you watch the right videos. So get out there and make your teammate better.
So that was a good start, I think. Like the voiceover lacked a little bit of energy, but other than that, the humor's there, and you can see the same Sunless con we see now. So let's move on to FLuuMP. Okay, so FLuuMP's first video was a tutorial, air roll shots, June 16th, 2017. We first have to talk about this thumbnail though. What is going on here? So I can understand if he maybe like had filled in the Dominus windshield with like a bright color to stand out, but someone purposely put triangles, like different colored triangles. I don't understand what the purpose of that is. Yeah, it's weird. Only he can explain this, I guess. Maybe he took this picture from somewhere. I'm not sure. Let's get into it.
The average Rocket League player misses half of the shots they take.
Okay. So he's 6 seconds into his YouTube career and he's already throwing out sourceless facts, statistics about shots and goals. I mean, like, it sounds reasonable. You only hit half your shots, but we didn't really even have the tools to get that kind of information back then. But we do now. So I think we should fact check FLuuMP. Let's check it out. We're going to go to ball chasing. June 2017, so this is season 4. Population was averaging 1.22 goals per game and 2.61 shots per game. All right, FLuuMP, I will give you this one. Wonder what we're doing these days. Season 14. We're averaging less goals, and we're taking more shots. Interesting.
Missing shots is part of the game. You're never going to make all of your shots. But what if that percentage was closer to, say,
I'm not sure why the
60?
like field is like, it's
What
super
if you made more of
dreary
those
looking,
important shots?
like dull.
What if there's a way to hit the ball with more precision and more power? The answer? Air roll shots.
It's a metaphor. You can see. What was your game like without air roll shots? It was sad. It was dreary. And now, look what it does. Everything's bright. Apparently, we don't do segues.
If you move the analog stick while your car is in the air, your car turns. I'm guessing you probably already know this.
So this is a pretty simple tutorial, but actually the game does a bad job of like teaching
Car twists.
air roll. You'll find a lot of people in the comment section like they didn't even know there was an air roll button. So it was kind of a timely
But how does this
tutorial.
impact gameplay? Most newer players use air roll simply as a way to land the car on its wheels, either on the ground or on the wall, and that's fine. That's a skill that you'll always need to have. I remember when I first started consistently landing.
See, I've always considered FLuuMP to be like one of the more skilled content creators, especially at the start. Like it seemed like he really like grinded mechanics. And so then he could tackle like these types of tutorials. And that made him stand out.
Here, my car was traveling.
Like in season 4, FLuuMP was a platinum player, like maybe plat 2, plat 3. So this is actually like, this is impressive for season 4 mechanics, to me anyways.
Hitting air roll shots
Maybe
is
that's
not
just
simply a matter of turning your car. It means knowing how to fly with your car upside down and sideways. This is one of the hardest things to learn in Rocket League, but anyone can do it with enough practice.
See, this video has like 170,000 views now, but it didn't start out like that. This is one of those ones where he got a big hit later, which was maybe like his air dribbling tutorial, and then people came back and found more good content and then watched it. I think FLuuMP said this got like 30 views in the first weeks. But that helps your channel. If you have stuff to back up your hit, you can grow quickly.
I've created a training pack with 10 air roll ground shots that you can
See, he's
find.
creating training packs to go with the tutorial. That's big.
Play and hit the
That's
ball
very
with
helpful.
sides
People
and practice
will like
twisting your
that.
car in different directions before you hit it. Think of air rolling on ground shots as a way to get your car in a better position before shooting,
old
without having to
Starbase.
drive your car into that position. This enables you to hit a shot at the goal.
This is really well made for a first tutorial. Like, you can tell his equipment isn't very good. Like his microphone, like he's talking into like the camera mic of the laptop or something like that. And even like, I remember about a year after this video, he tweeted what his setup looked like at that time, and it was brutal. Like, look at this. I'm sure this like violates several labor laws to have to play on that. Kind of shows you that your equipment doesn't matter that much. Like, he put out good content and he grew really quickly.
Consider subscribing, and if you have any questions or thoughts, put them down below.
Yeah, that was a good video. Like, that was his first video. That's really good. All right, so next we have Mertzy. Mertzy is an EU player. He was born in Turkey. I think he lives in Germany right now. And he's been making videos almost since the beginning of the game. So this one we're looking at, his first tutorial. It's from December 2015. Let's check it out. It's got a cool intro.
My aim in this video is in 5 minutes to tell you everything you need to know about how to improve freestyling.
5 minutes. I guess it's a conversion. It's a conversion. So it's 3.5 North American minutes. All right, that makes sense.
So before we jump into this, make sure to only freestyle in unranked games or if you have a good lead.
Okay, so this is really innocent. Early in the game, we're 4 months into the game, and so he's trying to tell people, don't do all this spinny stuff in a ranked game. Don't mess with your teammates. Maybe it's about showing off. I'm not sure. It's just kind of funny that he has to give that information out because the game is so new, and new players are trying to think that they can do this in any playlist, which you could. I don't know why Chaos and Snow Day make the cut, but apparently those are good freestyle locations according to Mertzy.
With that being said, we are still not ready. I don't want to influence you guys too much, but I would recommend cranking up that FOV and to take a look at other options as well. You also want to change your boost button to either L1 or R1, or if you're using an Xbox controller, LB or RB. That is to make it easier for you to hold down the air roll button while boosting.
Okay, so was this what Sunless was trying to call out? Like, freestyler videos recommending you do controller changes? Because I think he mentioned that. But like, this is really good, especially this early in the game. Like, this is a good recommendation because the default controls suck for Rocket League. I wish I had got this advice or watched this video before I spent like 1,000 hours on default controls. So I don't know why that was actually like, Sunless was making fun of that, it felt like, right?
Alright, now we're ready to hop into free mode. Now that we're in free mode, all you want to do is just fly up and practice hovering.
Was his name not always
You don't
Mertzy?
want to do anything too crazy yet.
Mert?
Just
I guess
try
the X
to
isn't
hover
making an
above
E
that
sound.
little circle
But why is it
underneath.
CEO?
And try to maintain your position in the air.
CO? Chief Executive Officer of Freestyling? I wonder when he changed his
Now
name.
you want to add a little bit of rotation to your car. Try finding that sweet spot where your car doesn't lose its momentum and you still hover.
What is that arrow pointing at? I think you might have forgot something there.
I personally pull down the left stick and push a little bit to the left. If you're not already in the air for your freestyle, there are two ways you can start off. You can either fly up
This
and
is
start
considered
spinning,
freestyling in
or you
2015,
can
by the way.
start spinning
There was no flip
immediately
resets.
after jumping. But
No
your
ceiling
jump
shots.
is really important if you do that. Why is the takeoff so important, you ask? It's because if you go in a straight line, jump, and then start
Yes.
spinning,
Thanks for the arrow.
your car
I
will
see.
most likely go to the left.
Giant
So to
red
avoid that, all you
useless
want to do
arrow.
is simply after jumping to tilt your car a little bit to the right and
Ooh, that one's useful. See, what he's trying to say is it's North American right, not EU right. So that was a
then
helpful
starting
one.
a rotation. You will notice that your car is now flying in a straight line. Now you can get inside your goal, aim for the other goal's corners and try to fly
This is kind
them as
of
quickly
interesting
as
because
possible.
he's kind of
This can
creating
be
a way to
better
simulate like
just
dunking
in
the ball
there.
off the bar. Because we
Most
had no
important thing
training
with
packs, like no
freestyle
custom
is
training
not to
packs,
lose
so we
your
couldn't set up these shots.
Try facing your car up to
So
the
this is how he's
ceiling whenever
simulating
you
it. He's
can.
trying to aim
Try
for those
not
corners.
to fly too fast because the faster you fly, the less control you have. Right here I'm flying straight up and I'm tapping the ball very lightly.
So this is what it looked like to get styled on
this
in
is very
2015.
risky, but in this case I'm predicting the ball's position and make my
So,
way over there.
Hopefully this isn't in ranked because that would be
My general
inappropriate.
rule is to fly as slowly as possible so I have a lot of time to adjust my car. Now you're ready to truly test your skill.
So this is
Go
all
to
the training
pro
we
aerial
had back
training
then.
and
Like
try hitting the ball while
this is the aerial training. There was one more higher than this, all star where the ball would actually move. but that's all we had to work with.
The ball. This will take a lot of time to get used to, and the more you practice, the more comfortable
This
you
is
will get.
this is a pretty good tutorial for his first tutorial. Like
See
it's
here how I
slow
first turn to the
commentary,
right, then start
but
spinning?
also
You can also drive up the wall.
he probably
and
speaks
jump
like
up
3
the wall.
languages, so I can't really make fun of that. All right, so we got one more left. Kind of a newcomer on the block. We're gonna look at Musty next. So we're on to our last content creator, Musty. In April 2018, he made his first scripted content, and of course, that's a tutorial for his own Musty flick. So let's check out and see how he did.
Yo, what's going on, guys? I've gotten lots of requests to make a tutorial for the Musty flick.
This is
so I
every
decided
Musty
to finally
intro.
make one.
He just drives around in free play.
Mechanic in October
So he's been doing that
of
since
2016,
day one.
and I posted it to Reddit.
There's his Reddit post. It's hard because Rocket League content, you always like, what should I put on the screen when I'm talking? And Musty just does free play and it works for him. He gets away with it.
They posted it and it was
I
pretty
don't think
cool.
I could. I don't think people would
And
want to
so
watch
people
like
asked
5
me
minutes of
to
me
pick a
talking
name
while I
for
miss the
this new
ball.
mechanic, and I jokingly said the Musty flick, and I thought there's no way we would actually end up calling this new mechanic the Musty flick, but other people started calling it that and the name somehow stuck.
All right, so this is the reason we have to deal with platinums that try and name stuff after themselves. The posts on Reddit, the Twitter, it's Musty's fault because of this one success.
From then to now, the move has definitely come a long way, so let's get
So you can see he's got that new YouTuber commentary, right? Like I was talking about, like
the move's basically just a forward
his dog just died before the recording.
You just jump up, tilt your car forward, and then backflip. I made a visual to help explain why this happens. Now, it may just look like a red cross, but there's something very important about it. The two lines create a 90-degree angle. Let's call the right side the good zone, and the left side the bad zone.
All right, so it's like he already knew the average IQ of his future fan base. This is good, just dumbing it down.
When you
right?
lean forward to perform a Musty flick, you don't want to use your backflip when the nose of your car is in the
red is
bad
bad.
zone because it hasn't
Okay.
tilted more than 90 degrees. This will result in backwards momentum when doing a backflip. What you should do is lean your car forward more than 90 degrees so the
Good
nose of your
zone.
car is
I didn't
in
see
the
that
good
coming,
zone before you
honestly.
backflip. This should result in a backflip that propels you forward, which is what you want when attempting
I
a
was
Musty
caught up in that
flick.
90-degree thing.
In this example, you can see that the nose of my car
Now, honestly, like,
hasn't
this
tilted
is
over
pretty
90
well done.
degrees, and it was still in the back.
Especially right here.
This
is a hard part of the mechanic. People get it wrong, and Musty's never taught anything on camera or on film before, so like he came up with a really good way to illustrate it. So no hate.
You could see that my car was already in the good zone because it had tilted over 90 degrees. This way, I got forward momentum, which is exactly what you want. So now that you know the physics involved in this mechanic, let's get into where the ball should be placed on your car. First, I want to be clear, if you
I think
don't
this is
already
actually the
know how
hardest
to
part, to tell
dribble
you the
or
truth.
do normal flicks, you should probably learn those before trying Musty flicks. So,
Some interesting background information.
I'd say
This video has 660,000 views or something like that. Musty hasn't made a cent off of it, and I kind of blame myself a little bit.
Watch what happens when you try to
So when we started out, we would talk a lot about editing, about thumbnails, things like that. He was just learning. He's just a kid, right? 16 or so. And one thing I kind of like forgot to mention or just assumed he knew was copyright music. And as you can see in this exchange here, by the time I did bring it up, it was too late. Like the tutorial had been out for a while. Cyanix ended up shutting out the tutorial, so it started getting a lot of views. And unfortunately, he had copyright music on it. And now he doesn't make any money off this one. I'm sure he's not hurting now. But sorry, Musty.
They don't think you're capable of getting the ball over them because it looks like you're out of options. So I'd recommend you do the Musty flick in 1v1 and 2v2 game modes only, because in 3v3 you generally won't have enough time to do one. It's also best to do it when the defender
Okay,
is
so
giving you a lot of space and you
he
never
says
go on
1v1 and 2v2, but I wonder what Mertzy would say. When would Mertzy say we should use this? Not in ranked. That's a no-no. But I think Mertzy would probably say Chaos and Snow Day would be a good place for the Musty
Tilt
flick.
your car more than 90 degrees, use the very front of the car when you're about to flick, and to use the Musty flick when the defender is far away from you with a low boost, because in most situations a normal flick will work just fine. That's it for the tutorial. Feel free to like the video.
Still pretty good tutorial to start out with. Nice to use his own mechanic, right?
Unique ways you can use the Musty flick here at the
And
end.
he did a pretty good job explaining it. So, good job, Musty. I think you're gonna go far. Alright guys, well, thanks for taking the time to watch me watch other people's content. If you enjoyed this, please like, subscribe, and also check out my other reaction video where I showed my 8-year-old son pro gameplay. My name is Rocket Sledge. See you next time.